Trump in Saudi Arabia yesterday had much to say on a number of topics, including on Iran. Let's start there. The tough talk, but with an extended hand, continues in the direction of Tehran. Essentially, Trump saying, it's your move, mullahs.
I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before. If you know that, they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. But with that said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country, but they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer that will not last forever. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait.
For more on this, John Bolton joins us, former assistant to the President of National Security Affairs, author of The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir. Ambassador Bolton, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
Trump's comments on Iran, did that strike the right tone to you?
Well, I think trying to negotiate with the Ayatollahs is really a waste of oxygen. There's no evidence whatever they've given up their objective of getting deliverable nuclear weapons. I think they've been pounded by the Israelis directly on their ballistic missile production facilities in Iran. Their terrorist proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, have been badly wounded. Their ally, the Assad regime in Syria, has fallen. So they need time, and they'd love to have a long negotiation with the United States to try and protect what's left of their missiles and their nuclear program. But I think we're really at the optimal moment where, as Trump has said, if he means this as an ultimatum, you prove you're willing to give up your nuclear weapons program now, or somebody, parenthesis, Israel, will take it away from you.
Is that's the reading between the lines you think Trump was indicating in that statement?
Well, I think that's one possible way. I think his negotiator, Steve Witkoff, who doesn't know anything about Iran, doesn't know anything about nuclear weapons, Trump himself conceded this and said, on Monday, you don't really need to know about any of that to negotiate. I think he's been lulled by the Iranian negotiators into thinking maybe there's a deal there. That would follow a pattern of multiple earlier administrations that tried to make a deal with the Iranians, always unsuccessfully, except on terms that were so advantageous for Iran that it almost guaranteed their path to nuclear weapons.
Well, but the Iranians have to, I assume they believe that Trump is serious about at least some pressure, and particularly when he essentially says in that venue, it's time for you to make a choice. He did walk away from the Obama-Biden nuclear glide path to nuclearization deal that they were trying to consummate. So, and the threat of sort of economic, deleterious economic impacts is not nothing. It's something that sort of starts taking you down a road when it comes to confrontation.
Well, look, I helped him walk away from that Obama deal when I was in the White House. I don't know whether that's what he's trying to do here or not, but I do think it would be politically humiliating for Trump if he agreed to a deal with Iran that was not radically different from the Obama deal. And so far, there haven't been any indications. In fact, all of the public statements by Iran are to the contrary, that they will not give up uranium enrichment. That was the central flaw of Obama's 2015 deal. We never should have agreed to allow Iran to do that. And if there's any hint that Trump is about to agree to it today, I really think the political backlash would be enormous here in this country. It's already started. Ted Cruz was saying the other day, there's some people in the administration that apparently don't understand what our red lines with Iran are. He's referring to Steve Witkoff, the negotiator. So I think people are watching this very closely.
Among the other big news out of yesterday's remarks is that he is lifting sanctions on Syria and normalizing relations with Damascus. Wall Street Journal editorial board opining that I guess, reformed al-Qaeda terrorist al-Shara, the dictator in Syria now. Wall Street Journal saying that Shara has said the right things about uniting his country and protecting minorities. He's also done the U.S. a favor by breaking Iran's stranglehold on Syria, making it difficult to resupply Hezbollah in Lebanon. There are good reasons to work with him, although they note there are some, obviously, very real concerns as well. What's your view on this overture that has been made?
Well, I think it's the wrong way to go about it. I mean, I do think that the opposition that el-Shara and his regime have to Iran is a big plus for the region. But they were formerly the al-Nusra, al-Qaeda spinoff. They remain a foreign terrorist organization. And so I would have insisted on several things. Number one, a complete opening of files and information from the Assad regime on captured American hostages and really all foreign hostages that Assad had, opening up to inspection of the Assad regime's chemical and biological weapons facilities. This new regime is really trying to turn a new page. They don't want to have anything to do with hostages. They don't want to have anything to do with biological or chemical weapons. They should renounce all cooperation with terrorists. And I think tell the Russians to get out of their Tartus naval base and their air base a little bit further north in Latakia province. So I don't want just rhetoric from this new regime. I'd like to see performance. And if we got performance, sure, I'd be delighted to lift the sanctions at that point.
Ambassador Bolton, President Trump has left Saudi Arabia, has gotten $142 billion new arms deal and $600 billion in investments promised. He's on his way to Qatar. He just landed. What is your reaction, and what do you think he should do with the gracious offer of the 747 Dreamliner?
Well, it's a security problem that people, I think, are wrestling with right now. How much do you have to do to deconstruct that plane and then refit it with what we need to protect the president in what is really a flying office? It's not, I can speak as a former passenger on Air Force One, it's not a luxury aircraft. I mean, it's nice, there's no doubt about it, but it functions as an office, and you need very sophisticated communications equipment, defense equipment that we have in it, extra capabilities that most 747s don't have, like aerial refueling. So,
but he should accept it considering their relationship with Hamas.
Well, I think that's the first thing is just the operational consideration. Do you want to take a plane that somebody else has had in their possession for a number of years as opposed to taking it direct delivery from Boeing? It's interesting that many of the president's strongest supporters, Rand Paul, Laura Loomer, Eric Erickson, a number of other Republicans in Congress, have questioned the propriety of it. These are not Trump critics. These are Trump supporters, I think, worried about the negative reaction that it might produce if he did accept it.
Yeah, no question about that. John Bolton is a former assistant to the president for national security affairs, author of The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir. Ambassador Bolton, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't.